Word. So guys, I'm finally hitting the trail. I'm packing up a horse, riding a horse, taking my dogs and goats, and heading for the mountains to a mountain lake where I can do some fishing and break in my gear. This is the first time that I'll ever stay overnight on a horseback outing. Not the first time I've tried, but the first time that I will be successful. I've been really busy with preparation. I have wanted to have a shooting bag for my historical outfit, so I had to make that. I had not put the pack saddle on my horse yet. I'm taking a new horse. This horse is great. He's an easy one to train, and so I put the pack saddle on him, and I had to shoe my horse, my riding horse, and well, and then a whole lot of other boring preparation that I've had to do. So this trip is just to get out, get the gear going, get the arrangements at home going, and then it should become a regular thing. So I am pumped, and this video is kind of a hodgepodge that I threw together just so I'd have a video for you, but I've got so much preparation that I haven't put much time into this one. But the camping video should be a lot better. I got my drone, taking that with me, and the scenery is beautiful, and I'm just going to be having a good time out there. So guys, thanks for hanging in there on my 2-month break, and I'm back. Hey folks, thanks for joining me here on my YouTube channel, where I'm exploring life free from the shackles of society. Life is a lot more fun over on the wild side. So this is where horses flip out. I got bucked off once because a lead rope got caught underneath my paint horse's tail. He flipped out, bucked me off, and I went head over heels into the soft grass. It was kind of fun overall, but good learning experience. And this old boy, he's doing just fine. I wasn't even going to drop this down. I wasn't going to mess with it because I don't really need it. But, you know, I just listened to my intuition and said, you know what, I'll give it a try. There he 10-step. There he 10-step. It doesn't ride that high anyway. I just don't want him to, I want him to be familiar with it if it does ride up for some reason. So this guy is just amazing. Well, I finished up my bag and I'm pretty happy with it. I wore it around quite a bit yesterday. I don't know what I'm doing, so these are pretty ugly. That's kind of unfortunate. So this is a shooting bag. It will contain my lead balls. It'll contain some cotton cloth that I'll use for patching, and it'll hold my percussion caps. I've also thinking about keeping my backup flint and steel kit in here, as well as my fishing kit. That's what I've got in here now. I'm not done putting my fishing kit together, so it's in a plastic bag, but it's basically just a line, fishing line, and some hooks. Just a small thing of char cloth, since this is really for emergencies, a lightweight striker, and a small flint. It's pretty thin. So all in all, that doesn't weigh much. Add in 10 or 15 lead balls and some caps and patching, and it won't weigh much, and it'll have everything I need. And if I get stranded away from my horse for some reason, I can stay overnight, and if I'm near a creek, I'll have food. In fact, one day I want to give this a try overnight. Have a knife on me, so I'll be set. I'll just have to keep the fire going all night, but I gotta wait until fire restrictions are gone, because I do not want to cause a forest fire. Don't like breathing smoke. So that's where we're at with shooting bag. Pretty happy about that. Now to get the rest of my gear together. Next, we're gonna take a look at the gear I'm bringing. It's hot out, so we're gonna go in here to the cottonwood trees. Here's my gear. 2 blankets for each saddle. Most likely that's what I'm doing. No saddle pads this trip because it's only 5 miles. And I'm only carrying, I said 60 pounds on Facebook, including the saddle. So we'll see. Either way, it's gonna be around 60 pounds, including the saddle. So I think I can get away with 2 blankets, but I might have a saddle pad also. So that gives me 4 blankets to sleep in, with temperatures maybe into the 40s, probably in the 50s at night. So I'll be sleeping really well. And then 2 tarps, so I can divide up the pack on either side of the pack horse. So if it rains, there was rain forecasted, but I think it's not there anymore. So I'm gonna be sitting like a king as far as I'm concerned, because I don't need it. I could just take 1 tarp and 2 blankets and be fine. All right, so food. I've got, over here, come here, come here. Come on. The dog insists on sitting with me. Okay, there you go. But he's not very good at going where I tell him. All right. You're good, boy. You're good. That's perfect. Right there. Okay. For cooking, oh, I forgot to get my mixing cup for my bread. For cooking, that's my stew pot. I got this coffee pot, nice small, and my camping mug. I just don't enjoy drinking coffee out of a tin cup. This here is dog food. I measured it out for 3 dogs for 3 days. Comes out to 8 pounds on its own. One of these days, I'm gonna get this dog packing, because based on his weight, he should be able to carry 10 pounds. So he could be carrying this. That's only 3 days worth of food, for crying out loud. I'm gonna be bringing a lot of meat, a lot of dried meat for dog food, which is a lot lighter. But since I can't use a campfire, I'm not gonna boil it. I don't have time. I don't want to use up fuel to boil it. So it's dry dog food, and I got some dried meat for snacks for them. For breakfast, let's see what I got here. Oh, I forgot about this stuff. My gun belt, my socks. I'll do the clothes later. We'll skip that right now. And oh, I'm not bringing this either. That's my pipe, but with fire danger like it is, I'm not gonna bring that. Coffee and, well, that's garbage garlic. Okay, I'm not gonna take it out. So I got my breakfast stuff for making bread. For lunch, I've got jerky. I gotta put that in the white cotton bags. This is jerky. So I'll just eat that all day long. I'll probably end up eating it for breakfast too if it's too hot and don't feel like cooking. And for dinner, I got dried meat and dried vegetables and rice. Or I might do dumplings again. And of course, coffee for breakfast. Shoot, I also forgot my cooking pan. So you'll see that stuff, and you'll see this stuff when I'm actually cooking. So, oh, and then wine for dinner. Because of the fire danger that I mentioned, I can't bring a campfire. I can't have a campfire, which is really weird, because keeping a flint and steel and char cloth handy is like ingrained in me. But instead, I'm gonna be using this, which is oftentimes my go-to for making coffee when on the road. This is awesome, by the way. It's an alcohol stove, but at the dollar store, you can get fuel, the fuel conditioner at the dollar store, and 2 of those fills one of these, and I'm pretty sure this will last me all 4 days. But because I'm not certain, I'm taking 2 bottles of it, because I don't want to have to boil rice and take a lot more fuel than I expected. So I'm taking the 2 bottles and this and a lighter. So that sucks, but I don't want to be the cause of a forest fire. I just picked this up. In fact, I got to practice with this, make sure it's good. But what I usually use to block wind with this is a 1-gallon paint can, and it doesn't fold up, so I didn't want to bring it. So this will go inside there and it'll block the wind. Should be just perfect. I was pretty excited when I saw that. So that's my cook set. And this is a 10 cup and coffee, which this will be a future camp trip, by the way, and I'm excited about this one. So I think I already said, in this bag I've got a fishing kit that I need to put in a different bag, but it's old time hooks, it's linen fishing line, and I've got water tablets for purifying water, and I've got flint and steel, and I got to get a char cloth tin. The one that I had fell apart and I lost the lid. So char cloth goes in there. So that's fishing, fire, and water. And then this is the second part to my survival kit, which is a cup and coffee. Coffee you might think is weird, but the spirit, my attitude really is enhanced when I've got coffee. It just feels like the whole world is okay. So if I'm in a predicament where this is all I have and I have to camp out, I'm gonna be really glad I got coffee. So right there, that's gonna be a camp trip in the future. And then phase 2 of the kit that I'm putting together will be 1 blanket and my poncho rolled up. And what else was I adding to that? Pot maybe. Anyway, I'm gonna do 2 types of survival type emergency trips, and I'm looking forward to those. But I gotta wait until fire is allowed again. So maybe during hunting season I'll do it if I get bored. Gun belt. Okay, moving over here. For filming, I've got to bring this stuff. So just a selfie stick and a tripod, and then a solar charger, because I use my phone, and this is my drone, which I also left the controller over there. So this was supposed to be a thorough pack, but I forgot my fry pan and my controller. But anyway, this is my filming gear, plus the camera. And this is a battery that I'll probably take too, because I'm finding that this thing does not charge quickly. And I'll be in the woods where I'll probably only have 3, maybe 4 hours of sunlight. So it's not gonna be enough to charge my phone or the drone. So I'll probably take a battery. For fishing gear, I'm going to use, so I want to talk about my philosophy on doing this historical stuff. So there's 2 aspects to it. There is the historically correct gear. There's the historically correct technique. For instance, I've been wearing this bag around since I made it. 1, because I love it. It's my new favorite thing. But 2, so that I can get used to it. So I'm changing the water with it. I wasn't working with the horses with it. I forgot it. But I'm just doing all my normal stuff with it so I can get used to it, see if I like it. But I could do that with any old bag, just get used to it. I mean, this one in particular, because it's the one I'm going to be using. But there's one thing to own it, there's another thing to experience it. So with the fishing, there's a technique. Actually, back in the old days, we used to see the Mexicans would come up here to work in the orchards. I know a lot of people think that's racist, but nobody's ashamed of it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It was actually really cool as a kid to get to see that. We'd see the Mexicans fishing in their unique way, and what they did actually was had a pop can and normal fishing line, and they'd twirl it like that and throw it, and then they would reel it around that pop can. I thought that was so cool, because I've always had a interest in simplicity versus, you know, these expensive and fancy reels. So that's what I'm going to try. I'm not going to use a pop can, obviously, but I'm going to probably like wrap in an electric cord like that way. And I'm going to practice the technique, but I'm going to practice it with a modern fishing line and a fishing hook, because while I'm practicing and learning, I don't want to lose my $2 old-fashioned hooks. And besides that, I just think it's okay to take it step by step. And I want to say this stuff because it's so easy to get bogged down in bushcraft or survival stuff by thinking you have to have it all together all at once. But that just, all that does is it keeps people out of the woods, and it keeps you from going out and doing it. I want to demonstrate that it's okay to not have it all together. So I could go out and do a completely historically correct camp, but that's not my goal. My goal is to learn and to progress. So I'm going to practice with modern fishing gear. I'm taking my fishing pole and reel just in case I completely screw up, because I want to have fun fishing while I'm there. So if I have to, I'm going to use that. But I'm going to try using the technique I told you about. And I'm just bringing along the kit just because. And then the next time I go, I'll actually probably here I'm going to work on tying it and seeing how the line works. And then I'm going to build up to actually using the old-fashioned kit. But for now, it's like I said. So I hope more people will feel comfortable just getting out. You don't have to be 100% bushcrafty. Just take your normal camping gear and then practice bushcraft techniques while you're there. And the more you do it, or even in your backyard practicing, like I cook with a lot of my stuff on a regular basis so that when I'm out camping, it's familiar. Like that's why I don't have my cup here, because it's in my kitchen area because I use it all the time. So I got to remember to grab it. And so anyway, hope that helps. And then over here, horse stuff. Horse stuff that isn't going to be worn by the horse while we're traveling. Oh, where'd my chain go? So there's a chain that goes to this. This is for tying them up and letting them eat. This is a salt block, which they don't really need. It's not like I'm going to be working them really hard, so I might not bring it. It weighs like 6 pounds. And this one, this might be controversial, but I don't want my horses to be uncomfortable. And we're going up where there's lakes, and there may be a ton of mosquitoes. I did choose an area that has less mosquitoes than further north, but just in case, I'm going to use this off, because I had my horse recently in a place. I was trying to take a leak and he wouldn't hold still, which he normally does that. And I was irritated with him, got done, looked over at him, and he was just gray. He's a brown horse. He was solid gray from mosquitoes. I felt terrible. So immediately I wiped them all off of him and got him out of there. So I just don't want to put my horse through that in case we get in a situation. So I'm bringing off. This is basically off. My goal is to camp away from the lake, and I'm hoping that helps and we don't get overrun by mosquitoes and won't have to use this. But it's my first time really far up there camping out, so better safe than sorry. So that's it, guys. That's all it takes. I'm gonna bundle this up and we're gonna see how heavy it is and see if I was right about it being 60 pounds with the saddle. The cool thing is that on the way home, it's just gonna be no dog food, and my food isn't very heavy. In fact, the dried food is a lot lighter, but when I go out for longer trips, it's the food that's gonna be heavy, because the rest of the gear just stays the same. So we're gonna bundle this up and see how heavy it is, and then tomorrow I'm gonna get the few items that I'm missing and put it on my horse and just do a trial run. So things are coming along. Well, dang, these two here would have been perfect for that whole scene. Well, you were perfect for it too, weren't ya? Okay, so I got my gear packed up, and if anybody knows how to pack, they're gonna cringe when they see this. The good thing is that the weight is balanced, and that it's light, so it's not going to have a huge negative impact. I know a couple of packers that I need to go and visit. They've offered to show me some of the ropes. So I weighed this one and it came out to 20 pounds. This one came out to 19 pounds. So I'll have to come up with a pound of stuff to put on this side. I still got to fill my bag with coffee. A couple things I can put in here. So I didn't pack them pretty, but they are snug. They're not loose and moving around, and the ropes are tight. So as long as I can secure it to the saddle, then I should be golden. I said on Facebook that with the saddle and everything, I was going to have about 60 pounds. So that's 40. 2 blankets are about 5 pounds each. That makes 50. Plus the saddle is about, we'll say 10. I'll weigh it later. So 40, 50, 60. So that puts me at 60 pounds. Well, I was afraid that pack saddle didn't fit, so I decided to go with this saddle, which is fine because you never know when you're going to run into a pretty gal and need a second saddle. Happened for me in Utah. So, like I said, it's not pretty. And this is just a trial run. But hey, no biting, remember? And so, I think it's gonna work. Okay, let's see if we can tell how heavy this saddle is. I think it's gonna be more like 20 pounds, maybe 25. Well, let's get it over here where it's free. 23. Bummer. So it's more heavy, but it won't matter. I'd take these off. They'd probably weigh 5 pounds. But the way they got them on, I'd lose my straps. But seriously, 23, 10, that's 33 plus 40, 73, 75 pounds with the other. Oh no, it's all there. So roughly 75 pounds. That's nothing for a horse. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I know that was a lot of talking, and like I said, it was kind of a hodgepodge of editing, but by the time you're watching this, I'm probably heading for the hills, and so stay tuned next week. Thanks everybody for the likes, for the subscribes, for the comments, and the support. Thank you everybody, I really appreciate it, and I hope this channel just takes off in the direction that we all enjoy. See you later.